Hi, welcome back. Today I am talking about when you are in no contact with your specific person and you really want to reach out, you really want to text them. I'm going to offer you an alternative to do this instead. I'm Hedley I am a qualified life coach, adult educator, and author. I'm also a passionate student of the law of assumption as taught by the wonderful Neville Goddard, because it is the stories that create our life. So if you want to change your life, then you need to change the stories that you're telling yourself. And if you want a better life, then you need to know how to tell better stories. And that's why I'm here. I'm passionate about telling myself better stories, and I want to help you to do the same. So if you would like further support, I am available for one-on-one coaching and also email coaching. The details are in the box below. Hey, so what do you do when you are in no contact with your specific person and you really, 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 really want to reach out and send that text? I know we've all been there and we've all done it, at least I have, so you're not alone. What I have discovered through trial and error in these situations is that often there's nothing, first of all, there's nothing wrong with sending the text, especially if it's a loving, kind, thoughtful text. I would certainly suggest holding back on any angry texts where you want to tell them everything that's wrong with them and all the horrible things that they've done. I'd really say sit back on that one. Certainly feel the anger and allow those feelings to be there, but just refrain from acting on those as best you can. I know we're all human, we all make mistakes, but as best you can. And certainly if it is a loving text, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either. However, with that said, what we are doing when we are reaching out to our specific people, whoever they may be, in this case I am talking about romantic partners, what we are doing is we're reaching out into the 3D reality. We are in a state of believing that reality is real and that we have no influence or power over it. And this is simply not true. So we're actually coming from a place of lack because we are not believing in our own power. And if we're not believing in our own power, then we are coming from a place of lack because we're feeling powerless. So what we want to try and do is to just get into a newer relationship with our reality, where our reality becomes more of a source of feedback rather than something that we're up against that we need to go out and try and change and alter in order to suit what it is that we want in order to feel good. Because essentially that's all we're really doing with all of this is we just want to feel good. And we will do anything to feel good, even if that is going out and reaching out and trying to get something from somebody. It's all because we are driven by the desire to feel a certain way, to feel a certain state. So with that in mind, we can certainly forgive ourselves for when we do actually reach out into reality. One, because most of us haven't been taught these teachings. I only found this earlier this year. Although I did actually find these teachings many, many years ago through Wayne Dyer. He wrote a book called Wishes Fulfilled. And it didn't compute. So you've got to be ready for these teachings. And I was certainly ready, not realizing that I have actually been working with a lot of these teachings over time. But so where was I even going with that? So yeah, we are taught to look outside of us. We're not really taught about what reality is and where it comes from. So we can forgive ourselves and give ourselves a little bit of leeway for wanting to take action and do things like reaching out to somebody that we're interested in and that we want to have communication with. With that being said, with these teachings, and now that you know of these teachings, there really is, and I don't want to say no excuse, but essentially, if you're committed to these teachings, it's a commitment to yourself. What we are doing by committing to these teachings is we're committing to ourselves. And the more you can commit to yourself, the better. And that means sometimes not taking action when you really, really want to. And that's certainly in these situations when you are in no contact with your specific person, you really want that contact. You really kind of feel that sort of that need to connect and reach out to them. That's the time to go and reach into yourself instead and ask yourself, why is it that I want to reach out to this person? What is it that I want them to give me by reaching out to them? And this is where the juice is. So no one to change but self is one of the underlying foundational principles of the law of assumption. So what is it that you want this person to do or say or be in some way by you reaching out to them? And then once you know what that is, then it's a case of you giving that to yourself. Because let me tell you right now, that person cannot give you anything that you think they can. They cannot. No one outside of you can give you anything you think they can give you, because it's all a reflection. They are simply reflecting back your consciousness. So they will only reflect back your consciousness. And what happens if you have reached out in the past and you've come from a place of lack, you've probably experienced either they don't get back to you, or they take days to get back to you, or they don't get back to you at all. It's just a reflection. You were most likely in a state of lack when you wrote that text, because you didn't believe that you were the creator of your reality, that you are the writer, the director, the producer, and the star of this movie. You kind of made them the star of the movie. And really, they're just reflecting. They're essentially helping you by not responding. They're actually helping you by kind of silently saying, hey, don't look over here. I'm not the answer. I'm not the answer. I can't help you. Turn back to yourself. Go back, look at yourself. You'll find the answer within you. And that is really the truth of all of this, is whatever you're wanting them to give you, you need to learn to give it to yourself. So if you're in no contact and you want to be in contact and you want to reach out and send that text, what I would say is to ask yourself, what do I want? I want to be in communication with this person. Okay, great. Be in communication with yourself first. Have you at all today asked yourself how you're feeling? Have you had the conversation with yourself? How am I feeling? What is it that I need right now? Where am I at the moment? Am I here or am I somewhere else? When was the last time you had a conversation and that you were in communication with yourself? And this is really important, because so many of us, we don't even know how to be in communication with ourselves, because we've spent so much of our lives focusing on other people and meeting their needs and just focusing our attention externally, that we don't even know what's going on within us. We don't even know how we're feeling. And so this is an opportunity, this moment of time in which you're in no contact is an opportunity to start to develop that relationship with yourself, to start initiating contact and communication with yourself, asking yourself questions that you might want them to be asking you, telling yourself things that you want them to tell you. If you want them to profess your love to you, profess your love to yourself first. If you want them to tell you that you are the only one and you're the only one that they ever want to be with for the rest of their lives, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that you are the one and only, and you want to be with yourself for the rest of your life. I know that sounds kind of weird, but what that actually does, it creates a sense of alignment within you, where it's kind of bringing those parts of yourselves back together, because there are a lot of parts that make us up. We're not just these kind of robotic people wandering around. We are made up of a lot of different selves and parts of ourselves. And so we really want to get more in relationship and connection with those parts of ourselves. And that starts by having a conversation, looking within for what it is that we're hoping that person outside of us is going to give us, because they will never, ever, ever give it to us. And we all know this, because it's often the time when we all of a sudden just let go and be like, you know what, I don't even need them anyway. That's the time where they show up, and you know why? Because they're just reflecting back where you're at. And you, in that moment, are back in alignment with yourself. You're back in abundance where you have everything you need. You don't need them. And then that's when they come back, because they're just a reflection. They're just reflecting you and your consciousness back to you. And that is the beauty of the teaching, No One to Change But Self. And that is why before you send that text, before you reach out to them, reach out to yourself first. Reach into yourself. Get to know yourself. Give yourself what it is that you're wanting and needing and hoping for from that other person. Give it all to yourself, and then just keep giving it to yourself. Keep giving it and keep giving it and keep giving it until the thought of them dissolves. And it's like, you know what was I even wanting from them anyway? And then you just realize that you are very happy and content within yourself, and you really don't need anything from them. So you don't need to send that text. And of course, this is not the reason to do it. I don't want to say this is the reason to do it, but that is the time where they do come back. And if they don't, it doesn't matter, because you are completely happy and fulfilled within yourself. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope this video has helped some of you in some way. Yeah, and then again, as I say, there is no right or wrong with any of this. If you do then go through that process and then you go, actually, and I still want to reach out, great. And I would say when you do reach out, you're probably in a much better place to handle whatever response is coming back at you. But if you can just hold yourself and stay with yourself for as long as possible, I would really recommend that, and just keep developing that muscle and reminding yourself that you really do have everything that you need within you. That's why I called this channel You Are the One, because really we are the ones. We are the ones we've been looking for our entire life. We are the ones we want. Everything that we want exists within us. We just have to go in and find it and get it and then give it to ourselves. And then our realities will start to reflect that beauty back to us. So I hope you find this, you found this helpful. Please feel free to share and pass it on to family and friends, and also subscribe if you feel that as well. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.